Like, it's getting worse. Yeah, but it's getting worse.
Clients on the bed.
I almost blew up the machine once as well. My husband like, oh, is everything all right? Are you okay? And I'm just like, oh, I blew up the machine. 5 minutes later, my client comes in the room. She starts like calming me down. I'm still crying. She's like, sweetheart, I'm okay. And she's like calming me down.
I love how she's calming you down. The client's calming the therapist down.
Hello guys, so this is the first ever podcast that we're doing at Revival, and we're going to be doing this every week. And today it's me, Rocco, and the lovely Michela, Dora, that has been here for, what is it, 15 years?
No, I think it's been about 16 actually.
Oh my God. Right, so based on that, Michela has started over 16 years ago, and she's been at Revival for over 16 years, which is insane, really. And I have been here for about a year and a half. So practically we just kind of wanted to see what her journey has been like over 16 years and how has she made it to where she is currently and what has my journey been like as well. So we're just kind of going to talk about our passions, how we got into it and what courses we did, how we got into teaching. So probably you can start first because it dates way back. I'm a newbie. I'm sorry.
Yes. So.
But wait. When did you actually like start in Revival?
Well, back then, to be fair, it was actually called Healing Hands Prana Spa.
Was that like 1980?
I wasn't even born then. Thank you very much. How dare you? I think it was in 2009, perhaps. Definitely in the 2000s. I mean, we're still in the 2000s now, but early 2000s, I would say. And I remembered always kind of seeing my mum going to have like treatments done, her nails done all the time. And when I kind of came out of school, I was kind of like, oh, what do I want to do? So I thought, do you know what? Let's go for an easy option and go with beauty.
Yeah, easy.
Easy, yeah.
How old were you? Like 18?
No, I was 16.
Jesus.
So I literally I went to Harrow College, I did my VTCT level 2, which was a year, VTCT level 3, that was a year, so 2 years in total. And gosh.
Wait. What?
Yeah.
Level 2 and 3 takes 1 year?
Each, yeah.
What do you do? It's like
well, it was
massage.
A lot of like practical salon management, so even like working actually at the reception there as well in the college, like booking people in, client care, doing obviously treatments itself and the portfolios. I remember like having booklets like this big of like muscles, veins, arteries, the bones, like.
But why? Level 2 and 3 is like nothing.
It was just colleges, just kind of like how they really had them then back then, to be honest with you. So it was like a long year. Luckily I passed it, thank you, Jesus. But yeah, that's pretty much how I kind of started. Came out of literally secondary school, straight into beauty, completed both, and then literally trying to get a job for about 6 months.
Also, you finished like college, or no? Was it like secondary school?
Yeah, so after secondary school, I went to college, so I did 2 years of the beauty.
Ah, okay, I get you.
And then after I done that, I was trying to look for a job, you know, but no one ever tells you how not easy it is to find a job when a lot of people are asking for, you need to have a year or 2 years of experience. How am I supposed to get experience?
Do you know what? I've been looking currently, whenever you try to like apply for jobs, especially with beauty, they say, oh, you need your level 2s, you need your level 3s, and you need the qualification, and then you need a minimum of 1 year experience in whatever. But I'm like, wait a sec, I wasted like 2 years doing that anyway, so I want to practice, and while I was doing it, I was practicing. So why are you asking me for an experience? Yeah,
literally, so no. And then luckily my best friend, Daksha, went into her college because she did beauty, and Daksha went into her college, and that she was looking for young girls to kind of train up so that she could mold them and kind of work on like live clients as well. So you're kind of getting the kind of experience as well at the same time. So I joined. I think it was it a 6 months course? I could be completely wrong. Was it 6 weeks? One or the other. And it was Eastern courses. So I learned Shirodhara, Thai oil, chakra stone, hot poultice.
What is that like, massage?
Eastern, yeah, so Ayurvedic Eastern massage. And then there was 2 other girls in the course with me and my best friend. And she ended up asking me and my friend, do we have jobs? And we're like, no, we're trying to find at the moment, but it's very difficult. She's like, okay, you're going to work for me. Obviously, being a 3-month probation.
But you were actually doing the course. You weren't like employed.
No. So I'd done the courses, and then that she must have seen something. I don't know what she saw to this day. Maybe we can get her on the podcast and ask her herself.
Was that Cassia College? Was that when you were at Cassia College?
Yeah, but Katia, she went to Stanmore College. And she literally was just like, yeah, you'll be on a 3-month probation. I don't know how I made that probation, because I'm not going to lie to you. I think I was supposed to do a 30-minute massage. I did a 15-minute massage, got a complaint. I've heard
stories about you, how you were literally hiding away. I'm like, how did you do it? Like,
do you know what? I don't know, to be honest with you, but it's definitely been like a massive journey for me, like seeing how I was when I first started. Because again, you see, 15 years ago, it wasn't about aesthetics. It was manicures, pedicures, waxing, facials, body wraps, spray tans. Yes, there was laser still then anyway, that was still out, but that was probably the really aesthetic, or like dermabrasion with a chemical peel was like the major,
What?
Yeah.
Wait, how long ago was that? Like 15?
Yeah.
15 years ago?
Yeah, 15, 16 years ago when I first started here, yeah. So that's literally where I started, just literally in a treatment room. And we used to do couples massage. I used to love the best. Like, it was hilarious. I used to spend most of the time probably like laughing, to be honest with you, because it just used to be like a massive laugh. I mean, we used to just like laugh all the time. But yeah, like looking back on the memories that I've shared with like everyone, and I've seen how everyone's journeys are, but especially myself, from being like this not confident, like timid girl hiding behind everyone else's shadows, and every time people used to look at me going, you're not confident? Yes, you are confident. When obviously you see me now, I don't shut up now. Whereas back then I used to be like, yeah, okay, okay. Like, always be like, people please, like, yeah. Whereas now I'm like, no, if it's no, it's no, kind of thing. Like, hell nah. Whereas...
Wait, that's what I don't get, because you were like, you're doing your level 2, your level 3s, and you were practicing then, and then you got here doing the courses, obviously, but then, from what I know from both you and Daksha, like, if she gives you a client and she says, okay, she's getting a pedicure or whatever, and you're like, I don't want to do it. But that's what I don't understand. Why or how?
I used to hate it. I'm not going to lie. I think there used to be some days where I probably just used to like cry, but deep down inside I was crying, or I used to make myself probably unwell just so I didn't have to do it, because it used to petrify me. Because when you're doing a pedicure, yeah, but you know what it is when you're doing a facial, a client can't see like, what you're kind of doing. Whereas if you're a pedicure, they're like that. They're literally like looking at you every step of the way. So I don't know. Again, it was my confidence.
Oh, do you feel like if they're watching you all the time, you're like, they're watching if I mess it up or something?
Yeah, and then that added pressure on top.
It's a pedicure.
Listen,
you're putting nail polish on top.
Yeah, but if you're not careful, you could nip someone, you can make someone bleed. Come on. Hello?
I'm sorry.
And you can see a lot of things on people's feet as well. The smells delicious.
What?
Yeah, we won't go there.
No, what?
The smells. Fresh feet, beautiful.
No, does it actually smell though?
Yeah. I mean, I can't talk. I'm sure mine probably don't smell particularly fantastic.
But no, it's fine. But it's like, if I know I'm going for a pedicure, I'm going to do something about it.
No, some people used to come straight from gardening.
I'm just...
dirt in their toes, literally. I was like... At the end of the day, that's what they're paying us for, aren't they? So just there, scrubbing with the hard skin. Me back then, really tiny, just sinking underneath, like trying to scrape this skin off. And this, actually, one of them, literally the client's toenail, nearly got caught in my eye. It just flinged. That's how thick the nail was. I nearly got blinded in the eye by someone's toenail.
What's like? Because the thing is, I really don't like feet at all. I don't like to look at them. But what's like the worst thing you've seen?
It's not even so much what, it's just the smell. Some of the smells that you see and the people's toenails, I personally myself would be embarrassed to take my feet out. I'll just put socks on. I don't care, listen, you know, people moan about socks and sandals. I don't care, I would be that person if that's how, I mean, you could probably see my feet now, to be honest with you, but at least they're painted. But yeah, no. Oh, I can't even think about it. But anyway, moving swiftly on. But yeah, no, seeing my journey from like how I started 15 years ago and how the industry has changed to where it is now, it's like unreal. But that's probably something that you can speak about because that's kind of like your journey. And then, yeah, kind of was doing treatments and so forth. Still don't know how I'm here to this very day. But yeah, no, it's something that I'm really passionate about. And I love just connecting with clients as well. Especially some of them that don't have that confidence, because it relates a lot like with myself, or even when I'm teaching now with students. When I see the changes of the first time that they come in, they're really timid, shy. I'm like, you are exactly like me, and I'm telling you now, you are going to leave and your personality is going to shine straight through. So it's amazing to see that. Like, I love that kind of stuff.
But it's like, from what you're saying, like you studied a lot doing your level 2s and 3s, and then you really got into it and you're like very timid and you didn't want to do it. And you thought it was like an easy option, and it really isn't. And you're kind of like, oh my God, I'm realizing that now. So why did you not back out? Why not just like get an office job 9 to 5? Just sit on a chair?
That's a good question. I feel like there probably, I'm not gonna lie, there probably were times where I probably did slightly think I can't do this anymore. But I think
I'm
without
sick of pedicures.
yeah, is this what my life's come to?
Please.
Massages. But then to be fair, I've only got myself to blame. That actually did try to get me so many times to get out of that, and because again, it was like my comfort zone. It's what I know, it's what I'm used to. So to try and come out of it and do something completely new, I was kind of like, oh no, we'll just leave it for, you know, whichever other therapist to do, because they'll be way better than I will be. Whereas I think Daksha along the way, like believing in me, and obviously back then as well, having, you know, everyone else that was around me, like Lucy Catty and things like that really helped as well. But yeah, definitely for like Daksha believing in me and kind of pushing me, because even to the, I will keep saying in this video, like I don't know how she didn't tell me to go when, you know, I got a couple of complaints, to be honest with you.
No, she's told me the story of years ago when you were still doing like manicures and pedicures, and she was like, oh my God, if you've seen Michela 15 years ago, you would not believe it. Right, I'll tell you the story. And she's like, so she's practicing and doing whatnot, and I've got a client for her. The client is here. I'm bringing the client in. And Michela, she's behind the door, hiding. And I was like, Michela, you have to go into your client. Yeah. I'm not going to do it for you. No. So I had to drag her to the client. I was like, what?
No.
That's not Michela.
Yeah, see?
For a manicure.
Yeah, for a manicure and pedicure. So could you imagine how long it took Dasha to get me into the aesthetics, doing just a dermaplaning or microneedling? So yeah, like honestly, I thank everyone that kind of like helped me build my confidence, trusted in me, believed in me from the very beginning when I didn't even believe in myself. And then like even like now to how it is. Back then it was just like the treatments. Now, you know, when COVID unfortunately hit a couple of years ago, you know, a lot of people had struggled business-wise.
Wait, was it only like after COVID that you kind of, well, you were pushed into aesthetics?
Yeah. Yeah.
What were you doing before COVID? Was like massages?
So, yeah, like my whole column from like 10 till probably about 7 o'clock used to be massage, and then sometimes used to be like the odd facial. Yeah.
So you used to do massages for like 12 years.
Yep.
And I was asking you for 1.5 years for a massage. and you've only done one for me.
You can say to
like,
Daksha, that was for
I'm
me.
into
I'm not
aesthetics
doing
now,
it anymore.
innit?
Yeah, I'm into aesthetics now. Bye. See you later, massage. My poor little hands.
I'm literally walking like this, I'm like, oh, massage, please. Like,
I'm like, yeah, no, do it yourself. You see your hands? Do it yourself, love. Yeah, literally the massages, yeah. But again, you see, massage for me will always hold an important place, like in my life, because it's where I started. It's
I kind of get that, yeah.
It's kind of like as well for me, like my sanctuary, where as well for an hour I get to unwind.
Thing is, I've never done massages, but from like what I do in like facial, let's say, it's just so physical, and I do appreciate you get like a contact with the person.
Yeah.
But I'm just wrecked. End of day. I can't.
Yeah, but then again, you see the teaching that I did with Daksha, she showed you to do a lot of like pushing your body weight into it. So not so much like, you know, it all coming from like your hands or like your thumbs. It's more like your body weight, elbows kind of going into it.
If I'm comparing doing this or whatever,
with a
if I'm just doing
needle.
that all day, I'm like,
yeah.
What do you mean?
I understand, but listen,
and how much are you charging? Like you go home, your back is messed up. How much are you charging? That's what I'm saying. Like, is it really worth
massages used to be
for?
anything from about, if you're doing like a 30-minute massage, like £31 to about most expensive being £70.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like for 1 hour, you would take 70 quid. For 1 hour, I can take 700 if I wanted to.
I know. I'm glad though that now I don't mind doing it once in a blue moon for you girls.
Please. Next year.
Yeah. 2 years later. And then afterwards I'm glad I did do it. Because again, it will always hold like a special place like in my heart. Because again, it's where I started.
That's when you started, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm kind of glad I went through that stage than going straight into it. Because I probably, if I went straight into aesthetic, I would not be here. I'd be like, see you later. You see that door there? I'd be right outside that door now. You see where I was hiding behind the door? I wouldn't be hiding behind it. I'll be out the door. So no, I'm kind of like glad where my journey's gone. And then obviously from COVID, kind of having to go straight into like, well, listen, now we're becoming more of an academy now than actually doing clients in the clinic.
I think from what I've heard, Daksha was just like, Michela, you've got no choice.
Yeah, it's literally,
so it's like,
you're here or you've got no job.
Nothing.
Yeah. Thanks. But no, I'm glad to be fair, because I think sometimes I feel like I need a push. Because I get too comfortable, I'm just kind of like, oh, it's fine, you know, Rocco will do it, Daksha will do it, you know, Sophia will do it, so I'm just kind of, oh, it's fine. Whereas now I'm kind of like, no, enough is enough now. So when I got into teach, I remembered, like literally I was at home in my flat and I put cushions all on the floor. I took the laptop home, because again, I mean, like, listen, I can talk to everyone from like the space of the earth and it's fine. And I sat there and I would pretend like the cushions were people. And then I was trying to think of, okay, well, what would a student ask? So then I was pretending to like, I was probably doing like different voiceovers for like different people as well. When I get into it, you know, when I tell a story, I tell a story.
I'm not going to lie, that sounds a bit mental, right?
Do you not know me, Rocco? Yeah, and I used to go like, oh, so I used to just like talk to myself.
No, I get it. When you're teaching and there's like a slideshow or whatever, and you have to learn it by heart. Yeah. Like I would just sit and I would just talk to myself.
No, I wouldn't. Like, I would pretend like as if like I'm the student asking a question and I would answer back.
That's okay, but like making up voices and stuff, it's a bit concerning.
No, it's great. I love it. I mean, I've always been into accents anyway, but anyway, we're not going to go there.
Next time.
Yeah, next time. So yeah, and I remember doing that, and then next minute, obviously Daksha still did do a couple of the courses, and then after that she would literally get me just to she would do the theory in the morning, so again I would learn a lot from her. Then afterwards I'll do the demo, and then afterwards I'll take over the rest of the class. And then now, obviously, you know, I'm teaching the laser hair as well as the diploma in aesthetics, level 5. And honestly, like, I love it. I just love it so much, like the passion and stuff. And
do you prefer diploma in aesthetics or laser?
Bam. Definitely, I would say diploma in aesthetics. Just...
Wow, what a surprise. Come on. Come on.
Listen, Rocco, be quiet. Yeah, no, definitely I would say definitely diploma in aesthetics, because again, you see, I feel like I would get bored easily. I like doing different things. So because I get to teach the hydroderm we incorporate with a chemical peel, microneedling, mesotherapy. And again, for me, it's all about seeing the journey.
No, Michela, laser is horrible. I've done laser with you for one day. Never again. Don't look for me. Don't ask for me. I'm not doing that. I almost blew up the machine once as well.
What?
I remember getting a phone call, literally. The glass has gone on fire. Like, literally, the goggles went in smoke. I get a phone call and I'm like, the lens is probably, you need to clean the lens. No. Rocco doesn't want to touch the machine ever again. I come in. I had to literally come in on my day off. I came in on my day off. What do I do? What did I tell you lot? Look at the lens. Yeah, the lens is black inside. All you've got to do is clean it, screw the lens back on, and then you're ready to start.
Well, I didn't know that at the time.
Clearly.
No, do you know what? Ever since I've been here and I've done a lot of things, like I've done all the courses, I've done all the treatments. That's the only thing I was like, shit. What was that? Because I'm doing laser, right? And I've got the black goggles. And she was like, oh, just go a little bit higher up. So I'm like, oh, okay. And I'm doing like zap, zap, zap. And the last zap, it was like, bang. Is this black smoke is coming up. Her whole face went black. And I just stopped it. I'm like, what? I put it away. And I was like, are you okay? Are you okay? Are you okay? Because there were like sparks coming up as well. Yeah. I think what happened was from the lens, because it wasn't clear, it was picking up the black
from the string. Yeah.
So it got caught up in the string and it just blew up. But this whole smoke just coming up, her face is black, and there's sparks flying around. I'm just like, oh my god, like, are you alright? I'm taking this off. I'm thinking, I just burned off the woman's face. Like, that's me done. Daksha is like, she's getting rid of me today. I was like, the tear rolled down my face. I'm like, oh no. And I was like, are you alright? Are you alright? She was like, yeah, what happened? I was like,
she didn't even know. She's a
no. And she was like, oh, what was that? A little bit of heat.
A little bit.
And I was like, oh my god. If she'd seen her face, she would have screamed. This whole thing was just black. So I'm thinking, that's burned. Anyway, I wiped it off.
You just wiped it off, yeah.
I realised, it's just dust. Like, I'm okay.
But luckily, though, you did take it off, because I think if you kept it there with the heat on it, it could have burned, to be fair.
No, she was like a little bit red, but obviously from the sparks. Anyway, I'm just like, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what this is. I'm like, I'm going to stop. I took off the glasses. I wiped it off. So I was just like, just like, give me a second. Like, I'm going to go to the bathroom and just grab some water. I'm going to the bathroom. I'm shaky as hell. And it's like, my eyes are watery. And someone asked me like, oh, is everything all right? Like, are you okay? And I'm just like, I blew up the machine.
I remember getting a phone call, and I was like, I was so like I was like, what have you done to the laser? That I literally, on my day off, I literally got an Uber, because you know what I'm like with Ubers and trains as well. Uber straight away, because I thought, oh my God, what the hell? And what do? I literally look at it and I go, it's exactly what I've just said. All she has to do was just literally screw the lens bit off, clean the inside, put it back in again, and it would have been hunky-dory.
Well, I obviously didn't know that. Obviously, I didn't do that. But anyway, I've left my client in a room, and I was like, I'll be back in 2 seconds. I'm just going to grab some water. I burst out crying, and I can't stop. So someone locked me in the room.
It was pretty Daksha.
No, I think, was it Safa? She put me in the room. She was like, oh, just go in there, calm down. But I was like, it's getting worse. Yeah, but it's getting worse.
The clients on the beds.
Yeah, but I'm just crying, just like shaking and stuff. I'm just like, I don't know what's happening. Daksha comes in, she was like, oh my God, what is happening? Are you okay? Is the client okay? I was like, I don't know what's happening. It blew up. Anyway, she leaves. She's like, okay, stay here, get a glass of water and just calm down a little bit. It's okay. The client is fine. So I'm like, okay, thank you, thank you, thank you. 5 minutes later, my client comes in the room and she's like, sweetheart.
My niece is sorry.
And she starts like calming me down. I'm still crying. She's like, sweetheart, I'm okay. You didn't hurt me. It's perfectly fine. And she's like calming me down.
I love how she's calming you down. The client's calming a therapist down.
I almost blew her face off. But she's like, darling, it's okay, honey. I'm perfectly fine. Just calm down. I'm going to see you in 2 weeks' time. I'm going to book with you for injectables. I'm like, yeah, please.
Yeah, booking laser with Kellen.
Michela can do your laser. It's not me. I'm sorry. And then Daksha was like the client left. I calmed down, and Daksha was like, so what happened? So I'm like, if I knew, I would have sorted it out, but I don't know. So Daksha's like, Michela, the machine is broken. You have to come here fix it.
Daksha literally, she saw me because she goes, what are you doing here? I said, literally, I was so panicked. I was first of all worried about Rocco because with what I heard down the phone, I was thinking, gosh, she's probably petrified and put her off now wanting to do it. Which I always knew anyway, your passion wasn't there anyway. Even when I used to say, can you do passion, she used to be like, oh. So yeah, no, definitely going back, it definitely would be diploma in aesthetics. Don't get me wrong, I still love doing laser because again, it's more body confidence for clients coming in now. You know, you do hear sometimes stories about, you know, bullying and stuff like that, which I just think in this day and age is just so bad what people go through on a daily basis. And I think if you can help someone, then I think it's such a nice thing to be able to, like, you know, help with and so forth.
True.
But yeah, literally, that's been my journey. So yeah, like you can imagine, it's definitely been a roller coaster. You know, I love a good old roller coaster, some ups, some downs, some spirals, some colossus going on. But no, definitely, I mean, from where I am today, I mean, listen, I'm still here, I'm still breathing, I'm still surviving, so.
The thing is, like, I can't imagine, because if I put your experience to, like, if I compare it to my journey, like, my journey's been, what, a year and a half? And
I can't believe it's only been a year and a half.
It's a year and a half.
I feel like I keep saying to people, I feel like you've been here since COVID.
Nope. I literally started a year and a half. It's not even 2 years yet. It's 2 years in probably like November.
So if you could think of how my journey and how it took me.
That's what I'm saying.
Could you imagine your journey, where your journey is going to take you now? Because your confidence is way more. I wish I had your confidence, girl.
Well, let's say Daksha pushes me hard, so.
Yes, true. So yeah, talk about your journey, because I think a lot of people can probably relate now to you having literally no background at all.
Just my personality, innit?
Yeah, just your personality.
But no, I feel like if I compare what I've done and what you've done, obviously 15 years ago, you didn't even have this to begin with. So it's like all you had 15 years ago was massage, pedicure, and manicure anyway. So it was like, okay, I start off from there and see where that takes me, but where's it taking you? Microdermabrasion. So that's like, oh, high up. But now it's like, it's advanced to, it's a really, really high standard of still getting massages and pedicures, but then you've got injectables, you've got everything. You've got laser, and it's even medical grade lasers.
Yep.
So it's not just one thing you learn and then off you go and then practice. It's like you take one step and then you do whatever you want. But in terms of before and how things were, I felt like you have to do a lot more in preparation to get you to that level. But at the same time, I don't feel like I need to know everything in such detail to do manicure.
Well, now I'm not going to lie. I mean, seeing the courses that we teach here, I mean, and you learn it within, you know, kind of thing. So I think, yeah, definitely. But I want you to go to little young Rocco. Where? Come on, talk to us about it.
What do you mean little young?
Well, young little Rocco, I mean, you're still young now, let's put it this way. I believe I'm still young. So, obviously, born here. Where were you born?
Right, so I'm from Bulgaria. I feel like no one can ever ever guess this.
No, I'm
So
not going to lie.
I get like Spain. Sometimes I get Scottish. I get Brazilian. But to be fair, I don't really look it. And I don't really sign Eastern European anyway.
No, I was about to say your look is definitely not what I would... No way.
So, my immigrant story. I'm perfectly legal, by the way. Just for the record. Yeah, I came here when I was 18, and I was born in Bulgaria, raised in Bulgaria. So when I was about like 16, 17, I was like, I hate the people, I hate the country, I hate everything. So I'm like, I'm off.
Really?
Oh, because my personality is very different. My views and opinions, they're very different to the people there and the culture as well. So I'm like, that doesn't appeal to me. Mm-hmm. It was just not me. So I was a bit more Western orientated. So I was like, okay, let's do something. Mm-hmm. So I was just waiting to finish secondary school. So I was like, okay, like what do I want to do? Where do I want to go? Mm-hmm. So obviously in school we did English as a compulsory language. So I was like, okay, I know that a little bit. So I'll go somewhere where they speak English. So I'll be all right. And because I've always been very into like learning and education overall. Mm. So I'm like, okay, let's make the best out of this. So I'm going to do a degree. And I think when I was really young, I was very into like mental health, psychology and development, like all of that. So I was like, okay, I'll do that. I was really into psychology. And I signed up to do an undergraduate in Scotland first, actually. And I
don't think I knew that.
No, I don't think you know. I
kept that one quiet. Jeez.
I first applied to Scotland. The reason being was the fees of the
was it cheaper?
Degree. Yeah, it's like not even half. It's like two grand. While here it's like 9 grand. Anyway, but my problem was when I applied, that was back in like 2017. Mm-hmm. That's when the whole Brexit thing was happening.
Oh.
Right. Anyway, little Rocco is applying to Scotland, and I'm like, I'm not applying to really great universities, but my grades were really good. Like, and I had, like, my application was brilliant. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to get accepted, like, no problem. And from all 4 universities, like, the only reply I get is, oh, due to current events, we're currently not accepting EU students. Yeah, because of the whole Brexit thing. Because they were kind of like, oh, we don't know what's going to happen with that. Like, are we, like, getting away from the EU? Like, how...
That's quite bad. Until they know something, I mean, you can't just base it upon...
I know, but that was that. So at that stage, I'm a bit like, well, what do I do now? Because I can't get money from Bulgaria. Like, Bulgaria is broke. And I can't get money from my parents because Bulgaria is broke. So I'm like, well, what do I do? Yeah. So again, I just want to get away from there. So I applied to... applied to a few universities in London.
Okay.
And I was like, yeah, I'll give it a go, see what happens. And yeah, 1 year was like 9 grand, but then I could still manage to get like a student loan from UK. Yeah. And got accepted, that's fine. So I'm like, okay, perfect. Yeah. I've got the uni, I've got my degree, I've got my offer, I'm going. And at that stage, I was 18. And...
Was you not scared to completely...
Never been out of Bulgaria, never been on a plane, never been to the UK, ever, at all. So I was like, but you can tell just how much, I just wanted to get away from there. Like, I didn't want that. So it was me and my friend, she was my flatmate, and she was in the same uni, we were doing the same course. It was like, okay, we'll go together. Okay. So 2 of us, little girlies, 18 years of age, get on a plane by ourselves, and it was landing at Heathrow. Lands at Heathrow, and the queues are massive.
Yeah, massive. I can imagine, especially
there's nothing like this in Bulgaria. Bulgaria is like the tiniest little thing ever.
Yeah.
And first time I've been in the UK and in a plane and on an airport. So we land with Heathrow. It's like the you go through the passport check.
Yeah, passport control, yeah.
Right. Do you know the little self-check machines? And
Yeah.
you
They're absolutely a nightmare. They never work.
No, I know. It never works for me. Right. Anyway, it was me and my friend, and she's ahead of me. And she's like, oh, let's do the machine. Let's do the machine. Looks fun. So I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ. All right, fine. So she goes on the machine, scans the passport, goes through, no problem. And she's just like walking ahead. I'm behind her. I scan it, beep, beep, beep. I scan it, beep, beep, beep. I scan it, beep, beep, beep. So it's like, oh, you need to check that manually. So I'm like, oh my God. So I have to go through the person. Yeah, because it wouldn't accept it on the machine. I have to go through the person to just see my passport. At that time, I'm just like, what am I doing with my suitcase and stuff? Like, I have to go the other way around. And I'm looking at my friend.
They're not
She's like down the line. Yeah,
because again, they have to, you know.
But my problem was, she didn't realize I didn't go through. So
she's like,
she's off. She's off. She's just walking ahead, and I'm like, hey, I'm here.
She's ready to catch the train to go to London, and you're still just like.
But yeah, so that was my first day in London.
Oh, lovely.
And it's been some experience. I've got some funny stories. Have I told you about oh my God. Just because I've never been out of Bulgaria, and Bulgaria is a quite poor country. Economic is a disaster, really. So we're not very high in technology and everything, really. So coming to UK and in London specifically, I'm like, where are all these people coming from? The major thing for me was how to use the bus and how to use the tube, right? I couldn't figure it out. I didn't. It's not funny. No, it's not funny. Listen to this. At the time, I didn't even know about contactless cards. I didn't know that existed.
But hold on. Wait, when did you come out?
2017. Everyone was using the Oyster then.
Do you know what it is I keep forgetting your age. I was like 2017. I was like, we didn't have contactless then. What are you talking about?
No, that was like 5 years ago.
Yeah.
But because we were based like northwest London, and I'm like, oh, let's go sightseeing, and we're like, okay, fine, but sightseeing is like 10 miles away, and I see everyone like getting the tube and getting the bus, and they tap in these like blue cards. I'm like, where the hell are you getting that from? Like, I have no idea. And us both, we were like so timid. I'm like, I couldn't even speak English. Like, I don't want to go to anyone and say, oh, where'd you get that blue card from? And for whatever reason, I didn't even Google it. So I'm like, okay, it's fine. We're going to walk it. So
what? You walked from where?
So from northwest, so from, let's say, around here, walked all the way down to Trafalgar Square.
You walked from Finchley to Trafalgar Square?
Wait. Walked from Finchley to Trafalgar Square.
But how did you know to walk there if you had no sense of, or did you just use your phone and just typed
I just followed the signs. Like on the road. It tells you, oh, central this way, central this way.
Yeah, but not from Finchley. Does it say central this way?
It does. I followed it. I swear by it. It does. So I just followed the arrows. So it was just like pointing that way. Anyway. No, listen.
Trafalgar Square, here I come, marching.
So from Finchley, walked all the way down to Trafalgar Square, then visited the National Gallery. From there, we walked up, visited the Natural History Museum.
Yep.
Like walking around. So you're still walking within the museum. After the Natural History, we went to the British Museum, walked around that as well. And then from the British Museum, went around the river, seeing the London Eye. And from the river in the London Eye, we walked back to Finchley.
That's like 28 miles.
Oh, no, it was more than that. Because you do some walking in the museums as well.
I'm not going to lie to you. I give you a round of applause for that.
Thank you.
Because I'm not going to lie. I would have given up.
I deserve it. No, on the way back. I would have given up.
Sorry,
on the way
back,
back,
I'm going home.
Me and my friend were literally like, we walked for 10 minutes. I'm like, oh,
your feet must have been... You probably needed a pedicure.
No. It's literally 10 minutes, sit down. 10 minutes, sit down. Like, I think we made it back home at like midnight. And we went out at like 8 in the morning. It was mental.
I would have lost the will to live.
But my point is, I've come a long way.
You definitely have. God, if you can walk from here to Trafalgar Square, mate, you can walk from here from anywhere.
Nah. Now I've got my Oyster card. It's so good.
Okay, so then you did that. So how long was like the course? Like how?
So once I figured out how London works, then I was like, okay, now I can go and study.
Okay.
Went to uni. I did 4 years instead of 3 because well, usually it's 3 years, but I wanted to do a placement year, so it's like it's called a sandwich year. Practically, instead of going straight ahead into a 3rd year, you do like a gap in between, and you do a placement, which is like a practical thing towards your degree. Reason why I wanted to do it was just because I think when I was in uni, it was very statistical. I was kind of missing like a connection with a person in any way. Like I wasn't working with anyone directly. It was like all textbook. I did psychology with neuroscience, so it was very like statistical, very logical. But the main reason why I wanted to do it was to really connect with people and like help. But I didn't get that. It was like statistics, maths. So I'm like, not really. Like I want to work with people.
So you've got kind of like work experience is what we would.
Yeah. So on my 3rd year, I did a placement year, and that was right before COVID. And practically, I was working for this, it was like a charity organization, and they sent people, they're like volunteers, they sent people towards like primary and secondary schools. So you're practically like a teaching assistant, kind of.
Okay, fine.
But you work with like special educational needs. So you've got like your own group and you work with them directly.
Yeah.
So I did that for a year. I think ever since I've been in London, that was probably the hardest time I've ever had throughout all my years. Even this is nothing. But when I was doing my placement, it was, because it was part of uni, I had all my assignments. So it was essays, like 5,000 words, then checklists. You had to keep like a diary.
Cross-referencing and all that.
Oh, no, everything. So I've got all my assignments throughout the year. At the same time, with the placement that I'm doing at the primary school, it was unpaid, and I was doing 40 hours a week. And because it was unpaid, I had to pay bills. I had rent. So I'm like, okay, I need a full-time job on the side. So I was working 40 hours at the primary school, and then at night I was doing 40 hours at a bar, just making up money to pay for my rent. So practically a week I was working straight 80 hours and then doing assignments on the side. So at that time I was like, it can't get any worse than that. But it was, I think it was a really good experience.
Like, did you not at one point just want to like give up and just go, do you know what, it's just not worth it, let me just go back to Bulgaria? Like, what's the point?
No, going back to Bulgaria, it's never been really a choice. But at that stage, I was like, why? Like, why am I doing this to myself? Do you know what I mean? But then COVID came, so that was a bit like, oh.
A bit of a relief, like,
yeah. It saved me maybe like 2 months hard work, but it was good.
It was still tough. I couldn't.
No, to be fair, it was really, really hard, but it really helped me understand what I was doing in uni. Because when you're learning something and you don't have, let's say, hands-on experience, you're a bit like, yeah, I'm going to read it, I'm going to write it, but then I'm going to forget it. But while you're doing it, and while I was doing it, because I was
learning
working
on,
yeah, and I was really into that. I was really into psychological development, even from an earlier age towards an adult. So I was I used my experience in my placement towards my dissertation, which was based on like anxiety, fear, and development in children, especially during COVID. So that was really helpful, and it helped me towards my degree. But I find that, especially after I finished my degree, I was a bit like, it wasn't enough for me.
Where'd you go from there?
Because the thing is, after you do psychology, you can do a master's degree, or you can do a doctorate, and you can be a clinical, you can be a counselor, you can be a child, you can be whatever kind of psychologist you want to be. But because of what I did in uni, my point of view has always been, I want to connect with people and I want to help people. But the psychology bit didn't provide me with that. It was I find it very passive. But at least that's for me, because I didn't have an actual contact with anyone.
Yeah.
It was like, I'm going to read a report on your issues and say...
Base it upon that, basically, instead of actually
like,
it's difficult to be able to...
Yeah, exactly. So I felt like when I finished my degree, it was really, really confusing time for me because I really wanted to work with people, but at the same time, I couldn't do it using my degree. So I'm like, well, what do I do now? And the thing is, when you finish your degree, you're like, okay, I gotta find a job. I need to make money. So because I was really, really unsure on what I wanted to do, I'm like, okay, like I'm desperate for a job. I'm gonna do anything at this stage. So I started applying. It was like graduate schemes.
Okay.
So you've got everything. You've got sales, recruitment, PR, whatever you want. But on the requirement, you have to be an undergraduate degree holder. So I'm like, okay, I applied for that. And it's like months and months and months and months. And I'm applying, interviews, trials. And I did go to this one trial at this company.
Yeah.
And I'm literally like, I'm walking in and everyone's like on the desk and they're just like,
just no personality, just completely
no, nothing.
Can't be bothered.
It was like what's happening here? And then they just put me on the desk and it's like, oh, here's a headset and just talk to that people, call them up and ask if they're looking for a job. And I'm like, well, that's just like so random. Like, I don't want to do that. And I was just there like torturing myself like half an hour. They left me on
Rocco.
they left me on that computer with the headset and I hate phone calls. Hate that. So I don't know why.
Yeah, we know how much you hate phone calls. But every time I call you up, you're like, oh, I forgot it's your day off. Why are you calling me up for? Just send me a text.
Yeah, just text, please.
Just text.
So I've always hated phone calls. So for whatever reason, I'm applying for a recruitment job, which is practically calling everyone all day. So I'm like, yeah,
suppose
genius.
you start singing down the phone to them.
But yeah, I went to that trial and I was just talking to these random people for half an hour. And at the end of the day, they let me go. And I was like, nah, I can't do it.
Yeah.
And then there was that stage where I'm like, I don't want to do psychology because I'm not feeling it.
Yeah.
And then no chance I'm going back to Bulgaria. No chance I'm talking to the phone all day. So, do you know what I mean? I'm like, okay, like what do I want to do? Like, what do I like? So I'm like, okay, I want to work with people and I want to be in actual contact with people because I enjoy that. And then at that time, I was really into like skincare, skin anatomy, diseases, disorders, like everything to do with skin. And then I've always been into like makeup and looking pretty and like procedures and blah, blah, blah. I wasn't really that into aesthetics. It was something that I haven't really looked into.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, I know of it, but I'm just like, yeah. Whatever.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, like, well, that's just like so random. Like, I don't want to do that. And I was just there like torturing myself like half an hour. They left me on they left me on that computer with the headset and I hate phone calls. Hate that. So I don't know why.
Yeah, we know how much you hate phone calls. But every time I call you up, you're like, oh, I forgot it's your day off. Why are you calling me up for? Just send me a text.
Yeah, just text, please.
Just text.
So I've always hated phone calls. So for whatever reason, I'm applying for a recruitment job, which is practically calling everyone all day. So I'm like, yeah,
suppose
genius.
you start singing down the phone to them.
But yeah, I went to that trial and I was just talking to these random people for half an hour. And at the end of the day, they let me go. And I was like, nah, I can't do it.
Yeah.
And then there was that stage where I'm like, I don't want to do psychology because I'm not feeling it.
Yeah.
And then no chance I'm going back to Bulgaria. No chance I'm talking to the phone all day. So, do you know what I mean? I'm like, okay, like what do I want to do? Like, what do I like? So I'm like, okay, I want to work with people and I want to be in actual contact with people because I enjoy that. And then at that time, I was really into like skincare, skin anatomy, diseases, disorders, like everything to do with skin. And then I've always been into like makeup and looking pretty and like procedures and blah, blah, blah. I wasn't really that into aesthetics. It was something that I haven't really looked into. I was like, yeah, I know of it, but I'm just like, yeah. Whatever.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, like what do I want to do? So I'm like, okay, let's do something with like beauty or whatever.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, let me do a course first, see how that goes, and I'll do the course and I'll get a job. So because I was based in Northwest, so I literally just like Googled beauty academies near me. Oh, top one, Revival Academy comes up, and I open it up, and it's like, oh, variety of courses, blah, blah, blah. And I'm looking through it, and I'm just like, what the hell? Like,
that
what?
to you probably didn't make any sense at all. Like, where do I even start? Like, where do I begin? Yeah.
And oh my God. Right, you're going to laugh at this so hard. But anyway, so I'm like, okay, price is fine. Courses look great. There's a wide like range. It's very close to me. I'm going to go. So I just like came in randomly to check it out, see what's happening, and ask like,
questions
like,
or just
what courses do you do? And I come in, and Daksha's there. She's just like walking about, and obviously I've seen her on the website and stuff. So I'm at reception, and Daksha's just like ears
you know what
dropping.
she's like as well, so intuitive.
Like
it's like she comes in right the right moments. Like honestly,
but I just walked in, and I'm talking to the receptionist. I was like, oh, hi, like, I'm interested in the courses. Like, what do you offer? Where do I start from? Like, I've got no experience whatsoever. And it was like, oh, we've got level 4, 5, 6, blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, okay, so let me do level 4 laser.
But that's just like, no, don't be so ridiculous. Do not do that. Go straight to level 5.
That's what she literally said. Because
really?
No, she was there, like.
But you didn't
like,
do
secretly.
level 4 laser at the beginning. It was
level 5.
Okay.
But I came in thinking, oh, I have to do level 4, 5, and 6 to do whatever. But my idea was, because if you look for jobs,
they
all
always
they're looking
say
for
level 4
laser technician or oh, I want level 3 beauty. The thing is, if I looked up level 3, it's like $5,000 1 year, and I'm like, hell no, no way. And I'm like, massage, no way.
No way, yeah.
So I was like, okay, let's see if I can do laser instead. Do the laser course. It was a 2-day course, perfect. I'll pay it up, study it, do it, and then get a job straight away, no problem.
Yeah.
Like, that was my plan.
Yeah.
Didn't make much of it. So I walk in, I'm like, all right, I'll do level 4 laser. And then the actress like, what are you doing with laser? Like, you want to do level 5? I'm
Told
like,
you, yeah.
She was literally like that. And I'm like, but I've got no qualification. She's like, you don't need them. All right, see you next week. You put her on my group. And I'm like, okay. Anyway, that's that. And I don't know. I was just kind of like, okay, like, I suppose, like, you know your shit, so I'm going to listen to you. And if you say level 5, I'll do level 5.
I remember, to be fair, Dasha kept mentioning your name all the time, Rocco. Everyone around Rocco this. I was thinking, who is this girl? Because obviously Sundays and Mondays I don't work. Yeah. So when there's stuff that goes on here, I ain't got a Scooby till I come in on Tuesday and then find out everything that's going on. I remember Dasha going to me, oh, there's a girl that I taught her the level 5, I don't know, but I think she's going to be really good here, doing clients, but maybe we'll get into a bit of teaching, we'll see how it goes. And in my head, I'm just thinking, it reminds me of me, like, listen, you've either got to do this or you're going to go into this. It's the either or right now, you can do both, whatever. And then after I remembered kind of, because it's good for me, because to be fair, I actually got to see how you were from the beginning, whereas for me, I can tell you how I was or what Daksha can say to you.
Yeah, but I can't really imagine it.
Yeah, but for me, I remembered that you were really quite shy, but you were quite closed off as well. I felt like you had a guard up. You were very like, dun. And I was like, okay.
All right.
This is Rocco, I'm not too sure. But okay, we'll move. Like, I trust Daksha's opinion. I trust what Daksha says. So we'll see where it goes. Because I felt like you were really like closed off. But you can imagine now, obviously, like hearing about what's like, I could only imagine like, kind of thing. I think in this industry as well, I think people do sometimes think it's quite bitchy to be in, especially being all girls and you know what we're like with our hormones all over the place, but it's really not like that at all, kind of thing. I feel like we're more like a family. We just like get on, we joke around, like we just have like our private jokes on the side, like we go out every now and again to kind of like just away from work to kind of just like unwind. A bit too much. But yeah, no, it's been nice to kind of like seeing your journey as well, kind of, because for what you wanted, like coming in, it's been completely different to like...
No, can you actually imagine? That would have been horrendous.
You probably would have not wanted to do it. That probably would have put you off completely, I think.
Yeah.
I don't think...
Yeah, big time.
Yeah.
Big time. Because I don't know. She just kind of said, "Oh, do level 5." So I'm like, okay. Because at that stage, I was like, I'll literally do anything.
Anything right now, yeah.
Just if that would get me a job, fine. Because that's just like everyone is looking for people in aesthetics.
Yeah.
Never mind laser. No one wants to do it. It's hard work. So I'm like, okay, I'll trust you.
Yeah.
And I've just gone on her group, and I didn't really speak to Daksha, not at all. Like when I was doing the course, like she was like teaching, and like I'm doing clients, like asking questions about like treatment and stuff, but that was it. Nothing.
But trust me, you don't need to say a lot with Daksha. She's so intuitive. She already knows you more than you probably know yourself, to be fair. Sometimes I don't even want to think, because I'm thinking she can sense what I'm thinking right now. So let's just kapoof it out of my brain before she goes, is everything all right? Yes, it's fine, Daksha, it's really fine, okay?
I already knew. But yeah, I think it was literally like probably last day of the course. So I've been here about 3 weeks. I've never really spoken to her. I was like, oh, what about this? What about that? Blah, blah, blah. And then I was leaving. And I was like, oh, thank you so much. Like, it's been amazing. And then she stops me and she's like, so, like, what's next? I'm like, because you know how she goes. She's like, so, what's the plan? And I'm like, well, literally no plan. Like, I just need a job. I just want to work. That's it. Really. And that was it.
Yeah.
Like, no expectations. So she's like, okay. Like, what are you looking at? So I'm like, well, currently nowhere, because I don't know what I'm doing. And then she's like, oh, all right. So I'm like, do you have anyone you would want to recommend, or can you offer me something? Like, is there anything at all? Because I would do anything, really. I just want to work.
Yeah, she would never trust me.
Yeah, she was like, you know, I don't really need anyone here. I need teachers, and you're not ready. I might think of someone. Let me see what I'll do. So I'm like, okay, fine. And then she's calling me up, and she's like, all right, come in and have a chat. So I'm like, oh, okay. So she brings me in, and the chat turns into an interview. So I'm like, oh, okay. Oh, hello. I'm literally put on the spot. And it was her and the manager of the time. So they're both like sussing me out. Like, I could feel it. I was like, okay, all right. And then she goes, like, what's the plan? What do you want to do? It's like the proper interview. Oh, what's your background? Blah, blah, what are your interests? So I'm like telling all this to her, and just say, you know, I want to work. That's all I want to do. Yeah. And she goes, yeah, but I do need teachers, so I might utilize you in the clinic. So, you know, the treatments that you learn in level 5, you can do private clients in the clinic, so that would be your thing. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I'll do anything. Yeah. And I started doing clients, and then she's like, oh, fat dissolving is really easy. Go and do fat dissolving. Alicia's teaching it. So I'm like, oh, okay, 1-day course. I did the fat dissolve. And then the fat dissolve, she's like, you're good with injections. Go and do PRP. So I'm like, okay, I'll do PRP. And then I did PRP. You can get the vein so quickly. Go and do IV drip. So I'm like, oh, all right. And then I did the IV drip. And then it's like, have you met Michela? She's so great with laser. Go and do laser with her. So I'm like, okay. So that's literally like 2 weeks after me just being here. And in like a couple of months, I did like all the courses there are to do. Yeah. And in the first month, I think something was happening. I don't remember. But it was a massive group of students. Daksha was teaching the level 5 then. And she's like, oh, just come and help me. Like, observe them. And I just need some help. So I'm like, no problem. Yeah. And I come up, and they're just doing facials or whatever. She's looking at that law, I'm looking at this law. So I'm like, oh, do it that way, do it this way, blah, 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 blah. So she's looking at me, and I can feel her eyes on my back. So I'm like, oh, don't mess this up. She's looking. And she looked for a while, and then she goes, I'm getting lunch, you sort it out. So I'm like, all right. Like, that's me 1 month in aesthetics. So I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, like, I'll watch over them. And then this kind of kept on happening again and again. She was like, oh, I gotta go. I've got a meeting. Oh, I've got lunch.
Yeah, she's always a good good thing at trying to get out things like that. Yeah, you'll be all right now. Okay, yeah, right, everyone. She's really good teacher, everyone. Like, just to like reassure yourself as well, to be like, yeah, I am. I really am. Yeah, I am.
I'm not too bad. Yeah, it's okay. And they're like, oh, so how long have you been doing it? 2 weeks. And it was literally 2 weeks. Like, I'm not lying. But yeah, she kind of left me to it. She's like after the 2 weeks, and she goes, oh, my next group, tell you what, I'm going to do theory. Then you just come, watch theory, and you can just oversee them after that. You can do the demo as well. So I'm like, all right, okay. And she was like, oh, yeah, I did the same with Michela. It's okay. But the thing is, she said that, and we did it once,
and then
then she left it to me. Yeah. She was like, and I was like, oh, Daksha, you're going to do theory. Why? You know it. Go ahead. I was like,
okay.
All right.
Where's the pink laptop, please?
But that was literally 1 month into this whole thing. And I was like employed on the basis of you doing clients in a clinic. And that's it. Because she was like, oh, but I need teachers. I'm like, mate, I've never thought anything in my life. I'm like, because I remember what I said to her. I was like, I'm not very patient, to be fair. Like, I don't know how well I'm going to do. And she's like, we'll see. I have a feeling, we'll see. I'm like, all right. I'm just going to work. You just say whatever you want. And yeah, she literally threw me in. She's like, sort it out. And that was it.
And look where you are now.
Yep.
Well, listen, it's an amazing thing to be able to see like your journey and how you come from, because it's like I said, it was, you know, you're going to do one thing and then you kind of like, you get a bit bored, you want a kind of a new challenge, you want to do something new, and then you do it, and then you kind of feel like you can just keep on kind of progressing. So it's a year and a half now for you, so it's kind of like... Ooh.
If I've only done, let's say, one course, if I've only done level 5, I wouldn't have enjoyed it, because it's not that I get bored of things very easily. I don't.
You like a challenge. You want something. You want to...
I like to learn.
Yeah.
And if I'm on a job where I'm not learning, I can't do it.
Yeah, no.
So if they're just like, if I did just one course, I'm like, like what else is there?
Yeah.
And if you want to be into aesthetics, it's not just about like reading. You have to actually do it. So I think everyone's like, oh my God, how did you do that so quickly? Because I finished all the courses in like 3 months.
Yeah.
And after that, it was just teaching. It was just practicing. So I was like, oh my God, like, how did you do it? I'm like, well, I study and I practice, and that's it. But if I haven't done all the courses, I probably wouldn't be in aesthetics. I wouldn't enjoy it. Yeah. If it was just like one thing.
Yeah. No, I agree, to be fair.
But it is what it is. To be fair, I wasn't like expecting to enjoy teaching.
Yeah, I'm the same actually. I don't know. To be fair, I didn't really know what to expect.
I'm not gonna lie. It was so hard at the beginning. It was so hard. Because you remember, I was like...
Yeah, you was, to be fair. But this is what I'm trying to say. But again, you see, a lot of our students and a lot of our clients out there and stuff, or just people in general, because of the way that they see us talking, they just think, oh, you kidding me? Not got confidence, please. And it's kind of like, no, like... I've
worked hard for this,
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, I've worked hard for my personality. But it's kind of like, in order for me to show my personality, in order for me to be myself first, it's kind of like you're getting to know people first. Because you're not going to be everyone's cup of tea, let's face it. I know I must annoy the hell out of you girls, vice versa. We all get in each other's tits every now and again, let's be real. Come on now. We're only human. You know, but it's kind of like you move on from it, but regardless, it's like we're a family. Like, I see you girls more than I see my own family.
Yeah, I know. Like,
literally. And even on my days off, bless you girls, you still pick up the phone. I think Sophie sometimes just ignores me.
No, you need to stop that, honestly.
Yeah, I feel like I've got a bit better, no? Please?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, okay,
bit.
Thanks.
But sometimes, do you know what? Sometimes I just miss like, what's Michela doing? Right. Let me tell you what's been happening while you've been away. It's literally like one day. What happened? Oh, we had clients coming in, blah, blah.
Yeah, I know.
It's
literally
usually nothing.
I'm like, hey, how are you go? You girls all right?
Sometimes you literally call me and just like, by the way, I've booked you one person for tomorrow. I'm like, okay, but I can
see it.
I can see
I can see it. I know.
It's like, so yeah, like I'm walking my dog, I'm having a good time, I'm having a barbecue, and I'm like, Michela, it's my day off. Please text me.
Yeah, you are more of a texter, whereas I'm more about showing love, giving a phone call or a voice note now.
I always get, whenever you call me, it's never about anything really. It's just about like calling me, because I feel like you make up an excuse that's like
I do
work based. It's like,
I just want to check, just see how you girls are doing.
Oh, by the way, Rocco, you're gonna be very busy tomorrow. And I'm like, Michela, I know. So yeah, so what are you up to then? Like, what are you doing today?
I'm like that annoying, like, do you know what it is? I feel like, because I don't have a sister, I'm that annoying sister.
Oh my God.
So I just, whoever's on my dial, I'm just like, yeah, just call them up. Probably just to see how you guys are.
The thing is, I know, but the thing is,
like,
once you call me and you start like talking to me, we stay on the phone for like an hour.
Yeah, but you're a bit rude as well. Because you're kind of like, yeah, okay, yeah, Michela, yeah, I've got to go now. And I'm like, my client's here. And I'm like, I bet you when your client's not here, but you're just saying, because you're just like, just leave me the hell alone.
No, I would never like cut you off.
I'm
my
joking,
client's literally here.
But yeah, no, so like, yeah, okay, yeah, I've got to go now. Yeah, I'll see you Tuesday. No, I won't see you Tuesday, no, I'll see you Thursday. Okay, well, I'll see you whenever then. Okay, I'll see you when I come back. Even I feel like, even when I'm on a holiday, I'm still thinking about you girls. I just can't get away from Blinking Arrival.
Oh my God.
But yes, guys, this is the podcast of our journey. So if you can imagine what you've just seen today, God forbid what you guys are going to be seeing soon. So any of you guys as well that have got any questions or anything that you would like us to be filming or maybe talk about, then just let us guys know and we will be happy to share our thoughts, our stories. Story time's always a good one. Brace yourselves for that. Get some cup of tea, popcorn.
Popcorn. Click subscribe.
Like, what do they normally do? Like, subscribe down the bottom. Ping. What do they normally do? Oh, I don't know. Anyway, bye. Right,
Texas, Alabama.
Texas and Alabama are two different states.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Bada bing, bada bong. Potato, patata.
Tomato, tomato.
I'm not like this.
Bada bing, bada bang.
Right, go. Let's start. Sorry. Getting carried. This is what I'm trying to say. If you weren't here, God knows where this podcast would go right now. It'd be like, woo!